Hi there, David Taub here, and I thought it'd be time to do like another practice regimen, or to kind of gauge where you're at in your playing, or where you should be about at in your playing right to this point. It's always important to keep checking in, finding out where you're at, practicing the points that you are a little weaker on. You might be excelling in some areas, falling behind in others, and you want to concentrate on the areas that you're weak on. As guitarists, and I think we do this a lot in life, just as humans, is we tend to concentrate on the things that we're good at and the things that we do really well, you know, and the things that we don't do as well kind of fall a little bit behind. So we don't want that to happen too much on guitar. So you want to kind of kick those in the bottom a little bit on the ones you're getting a little bit behind on, and bring everything about up to the same level or so. Okay? So it's important you keep checking in, seeing how you're doing as you're going along in your guitar journey. So let me give you some broad brush strokes right about now. Right about now you should be keep improving and your chordal knowledge as far as your catalog of chords. It's so important as a guitar player. It's one of the 5 or 6 most important things, I think, is you have to know a lot of chords to play guitar and to be good at it. And you really want to keep expanding your chordal catalog. Okay, so you should know quite a few open position chords by now. You should also know a bunch of suspended chords and different embellishments and add chords. You also should know by now, or be learning 7th chords, maybe even some major 7th chords. Definitely the 7ths, the dominant 7ths, major 7ths to come next, and then maybe even a few other various chords that we've hit on in the guitar journey. Slash chords, like chords like some minor 7ths maybe, maybe even like some sus4s or 7th sus4s, and different chords kind of here and there that you learn by learning various songs. Okay, the main thing is keep learning new chords. In all of our lessons, every so often, or our DVDs, we always have, you know, learn these chords, and new batches of chords. It's really important. You also should be getting pretty good at the F chord. Okay, that little 4-finger F chord, which we're going to eventually also learn in a bar chord formation. But you should be getting good at that. If not, you need that chord. So really work on that. Okay? I know that's a tough one, but you'll get it. Okay? Your changes, you should be getting very proficient at all the open position chord changes, and even the harder ones, like G to C, G to A minor. You should be getting good at those by now. Regular open chord changes, easy, like G to E minor, you know, E minor to C, D to G, all those ones that we've talked about before, those should be like old hat by now. You should be doing them in your sleep, right? Remember, if you're stumbling on a particular chord change, practice just that change, back and forth, and then cross it off your list. Keep a log in your practice regimen of the chord changes you're struggling with, okay? And I'm going to keep giving you tough changes, and I always say, some of the songs or progressions we hit, oh, this change might take you a little bit. So you're going to want to write it down, practice it back and forth, 5 minutes a day. Even practice your changes even when you're watching TV. You know, if you could just put the guitar in your hands every day, even if it's just for 5 or 10 minutes. If you're sitting there watching TV, I'm not going to have the volume on, like if you're not plugged in. Just go back and forth between your changes. And it really helps, believe me, because a lot of it is just about the muscle memory, right? And getting your fingers used to these positions. Okay? So your chord changes are critical. So you should be getting quite good at them. Soon you're going to be tackling bar chords. Okay? And that's what we're working up to. We'll start with like power chords and 5th chords and bar chords. So if you're going ahead, that's what you want to start to tackle next. That's going to be your next hurdle, because that's going to take a little time. But we make it easy and fun. Okay? You should be familiar with certain guitar terminology and a little bit of theory that we talked about. For instance, the 12-note scale. You should know all the open strings, E, A, D, G, B, and E. You should know the 12-note scale. And you should start to get, from that lesson module, a handle on the notes on the neck, at least starting with the low E and the A string, getting to know these notes. F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. I'm talking about the low E string and the A string. A, B flat, B, C. It just follows that 12-note scale like we talked about in that lesson module on music theory on the 12-note scale and getting to know that. So put that into your practice regimen. You also should be good by this time at being able to embellish chords and being able to pepper in, suspended, and add chords. So when you go to a certain song and you're on a D chord, like I'm adding in a D sus2 and D sus4, but I'm peppering it in. I don't want you just staying on it a whole measure. I want you to be able to pepper it in time. Or whatever, A minor, A sus2, A sus4, C, add 2, C major 7th, C sus4, all those sus and add chords that we've been talking about, that you should know quite a few of them, you should be able to pepper them in. So again, if you're not doing this, go back and work on those. And then start to include those in your songs. Any song that you're learning, if you have enough time when you're coming to a D, I want you to start throwing in the sus2 or the sus4. If you're coming to a D minor or an A minor or an A or an E or any chord that you know an embellishment for, I want you to start peppering it in if you have enough time and if it's going to enhance the song. Don't just throw it in there for throwing it in there's sake. It's got to make musical sense and sound good. And you've probably watched modules or lessons on this peppering in. Now you apply it. Remember, everything you learn on guitar, you have to apply it. And we're very big on that here at Next Level Guitar, and that's how I set up all these lessons and all these modules to have application. Because if you don't apply what you're learning, you're going to forget it. So your songs, you'll be learning new chords with new songs and also embellishing. Okay, very, very important. Peppering in those sus chords, and you can do it on so many songs. My God, wherever you see chords, you have enough time, throw them in there. Songs like Patience, Guns N' Roses, you should be able to play that no problem now, peppering that in. Margaritaville, Turn the Page, some of the Beatles songs, any of that stuff, throw it in there. All right. I also, by now, you want to be visiting the 7th chord lessons, dominant 7ths and 12-bar blues, and know how to play a 12-bar in a few different keys using 7th chords. Okay, strumming wise, you should be strumming in time. You should be visiting our lessons on ear training and starting to be able to hear strum patterns, basic strum patterns rhythmically. Okay, and kind of starting to forget about downs and upstrokes per se and playing more time wise by feel. Okay, because I don't want you playing real sterile and robotic, like a lot of times when you're thinking up, down, 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 up, your playing gets really robotic, and we don't want that. We want it to be loose and in the pocket and grooving, people. Okay? So your strumming wise, your ear should be developing. One of the most important things I keep saying, develop your ear. So, and also I want you to start hearing the color of the chords and being able to recognize a 7th chord from a major 7th, from a minor chord, from a major chord, just by listening and developing your ear. That really works. Okay, so I really want you to work in those modules. I don't want you just glazing through that. It's so important. It's going to make you such a better musician. Believe me, I would not steer you wrong. So your strumming should be very strong now. You should have a various amount of strums. Strum 1, strum 2, strum 3. You should be able to strum 16th notes. You should be able to play different mix, commingle 8ths, quarters, and 16th notes in a various strum pattern. And you should start to be able to pick off strum patterns by ear. Okay, and we give you training with that here on our lessons and in our modules. Okay, you should be doing your finger stretches. All this, write this down. This all should be in your practice regimens. Okay, basically, and on your strumming, also you should be starting to embellishing that with chucking. With open chord chucking. That's that rhythmic kind of right? You should be working on that as per our chucking modules. Okay? The chuck. Alright? So that's a good practice regimen, is take inventory of all those things I just mentioned and the items that you feel you're a little bit weaker on, spend a little bit more time. Remember, try to put the guitar in your hands every day. Okay? Even if it's only for like 15 minutes in the morning, maybe 15 minutes at night, it makes such a big difference. Even if you can get in little 10, 15 minute segments. You have 10 minutes before dinner's ready, grab your guitar, go through some changes. Right? Work on a long progression. Okay, you should be incorporating the long progressions into your practicing too. get them down. And I showed you different ways of getting them down. 2 measures each, 1 measures each, 1 hit each, all to work your chord changes. See, everything we're doing here is connected and overlapping. It's not disjointed. It's all going into the big picture of, you know, learning how to play guitar, right? And then we apply everything by our practice regimens and by using songs as a vehicle. So you should also be going and learning either in our video song library or finding songs that you like and learning some songs to help apply these principles, using these new chords, using a different strum, different ways of chucking, embellishing with suspended and add chords, okay? So that's your practice regimen and the things you should be getting really proficient at. And we're getting ready soon to start tackling things like bar chords, okay? More complex strumming, all right? More intricate chords, arrangements, more theory, maybe songwriting, and all kinds of great stuff on the horizon here, okay? So there's your practice regimen. Get to it now. And try to put that guitar in your hands every day if you can. And like I always say, don't stick your guitar underneath your bed in the case in the closet. Leave it out. Okay, you'll play it more. Believe me. In my studios, I always have bunches of guitars out. I don't like leaving them in the closet. Then I got to go to the closet. I got to get the guitar out. I got to take it out of its case. If it's out, you're going to grab it. Leave it by your computer. Leave it in the room you're in a lot. If you're there working on your computer a lot, you're waiting for something to download, grab your guitar. Run through some changes. Run through a long progression. Run through a practice progression, right? Always have your guitars around and have them out. Guitar stands, you could buy them in any music store, 10, 15 bucks. Leave them out, okay? Don't just put it away. Worst thing you can do, all right? Guitars are made to be played and have fun and bring joy to your life, okay? All right, so I will see you in the next module. Practice the right things as per our structure. Develop that ear. You're doing great. We're really proud of you. And we'll see you soon. Rock on.